All right, let's talk about one of the most fascinating business stories out there. How on earth does an all-American brand, literally famous for its beef burgers, become a fast food titan in a country where cows are considered sacred? Today, we are diving deep into the incredible story of McDonald's in India and its masterclass in going global.
I mean, really think about that for a second. This is the central puzzle. A brand whose entire identity was wrapped up in the beef-based Big Mac, trying to win in a nation where a huge part of the population just doesn't eat beef. It sounds impossible, right? Well, let's figure out how they did it.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the challenge itself, what we're calling the Great Indian Puzzle. Then we'll decode their global playbook. After that, we'll look at the constant fast food fight they're in, see how they're innovating for the future, and finally, we'll get to the ultimate takeaway from it all. Okay, first up, the Great Indian Puzzle. You have to understand, for McDonald's to succeed, this wasn't just about outselling a competitor. No, they had to solve a problem that went way deeper. They had to navigate these really complex cultural and dietary norms that completely flew in the face of their main product.
So what was their secret weapon? It all came down to what's known as the global playbook. This wasn't just some clever strategy to stay afloat. It was the absolute key to unlocking the entire Indian market. So what exactly does global even mean?
The whole strategy, seriously, hangs on this one single word, global. It's this idea of thinking like a huge global company, but acting like a small local one. For McDonald's, this wasn't just some buzzword they threw around in a meeting. It meant a complete, top-to-bottom overhaul of how they operated.
And here is where you can see that global idea in action, plain as day. Look at the difference. The global menu, it's all about beef and pork. But in India, absolutely none. Zero. Instead, they built an entirely new menu from the ground up, centered on amazing vegetarian options and local Indian flavors. This wasn't a little adjustment. It was a radical reinvention of who they were.
And this led to some truly iconic creations. The Makaloo Tikki, a burger with a spiced potato patty, was an absolute smash hit. But you know what the real masterstroke was? Implementing completely separate kitchens for veg and non-veg food. That one move showed such a deep respect for local culture and sensitivities, and it built a massive foundation of trust with customers. So by totally localizing their menu and their pricing, they were able to connect with this incredibly wide range of people. You've got middle-class families who want an affordable, reliable treat. You've got young city dwellers who just want convenience through apps like Swiggy and Zomato. And of course, you've got the super price-conscious customer. Now, they're even going after the health-aware crowd.
And we have to talk about price, because in India, it is absolutely critical. The Happy Price menu was just a stroke of genius. It suddenly made the Golden Arches accessible to millions of people, making sure McDonald's wasn't just seen as some expensive, aspirational foreign brand. It became an everyday option, even while they still had premium meals for people willing to spend a bit more.
But they didn't just stop with the food. Oh no, they went all in on technology. You've got self-ordering kiosks in the stores that make everything faster. Their own McDelivery service, on top of deep partnerships with the big delivery apps, made them a force to be reckoned with for at-home dining. And then, the My McDonald's Rewards app is the final piece. It's all about keeping you coming back for more.
But let's be really clear here. This incredible success story is not a walk in the park. The Indian fast food market is an absolute battlefield, and McDonald's is in a constant knockdown, drag-out fight to stay on top.
They're basically fighting on 4 different fronts. You've got fierce competition from other global giants and a ton of local restaurants. At the same time, rising costs for everything are constantly squeezing their profits. They also have to keep navigating India's incredible diversity, where tastes can change completely from one state to the next. And on top of all that, they're battling that worldwide perception that fast food is just plain unhealthy.
So how in the world are they planning to win this never-ending fight? Well, by doing what got them here in the first place, innovating. They are always on the hunt for that next bite, that next big idea that will keep them ahead of the pack.
And this slide right here perfectly captures their new game plan. To fight that unhealthy image, they've introduced this new plant-based protein slice. Get this, it's got 5 grams of protein, and you can add it to your burger for just 25 rupees. It's cheap, it taps right into the growing trend of people wanting more protein, and it is a direct answer to one of their biggest headaches.
Their road ahead seems to be built on 4 key pillars. First, they're improving the actual in-store experience with modern designs and more drive-thrus. They're also digging even deeper into localization with new regional flavors.
Behind the scenes, they're using cool tech like AI to get smarter about their business. And finally, they're focusing on sustainability to really connect with that next generation of customers.
So we've looked at the puzzle, the playbook, the ongoing fight, and the plans for the future. What's the one big lesson, the ultimate takeaway we can learn from the whole McDonald's India saga?
At the end of the day, their success was about so much more than just swapping out a beef patty for a potato one. It was a fundamental shift in their entire mindset. They went from being a global company trying to force its model on a new country to a local company that just happened to be powered by global resources. That right there is the very soul of thinking global first.
And look, their story is far from finished. To keep winning, they have to perform this constant, delicate balancing act. They need to keep offering the value that makes them so accessible, they need to keep innovating to stay cool and relevant, and they have to embrace sustainability to be credible. It's a tough job.
And that leaves us with one final big question. The global playbook worked wonders to get them to this point. But as India's economy and its consumer tastes keep changing and evolving at lightning speed, can that playbook adapt all over again? Well, that's a story that's still being written. Thanks so much for diving into this with me.